Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I'm not happy, I am fuming, I am raging. Why? Because the words or the dialogue between the referee of Genoa Juve, Massa, and Max Allegri after the game in the tunnels has leaked, and it's embarrassing. It's absolutely unacceptable. I don't like it and I want to talk about it, but I don't want to start the video with that, so we will have to wait until the end of the video. Otherwise, if I start with that, I will be pissed off for the remaining part of the video. I prefer speaking about things that will bring me back a smile on my face. Probably the loss of Napoli yesterday 4-0 against Frosinone. Well, smile. Half a smile, because we know it, Frosinone is our next opponent, and let's not mock Napoli too much, because I don't want to see the same scenes on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Italian time. And I want to speak about Mercato, giving an answer to someone that wrote me, Beppe, yesterday, why are we selling Soulé, Huijsen, Kenan Yildiz, Ealing Jr., what are we doing? So I have an answer for that, so we will speak about Mercato with some names, free agents for the summer. Maximum of like if you didn't yet, and please continue to put a smile back on my face and support the channel, continuing to subscribe to the channel. Why? Because we are there. We are missing 4 Juventini to reach 28,000 in that beautiful community. Do it now, because now we start speaking about something that is not really the field. Well, in a way, it's linked to the field, but it's the beautiful production of Juventus Creator Lab. What is Juventus Creator Lab? It's our in-home, our own production team that is actually putting these videos online. Fantastic work. We are doing everything ourselves, and yesterday the two protagonists of The Best Is Yet to Come new video are Kenan Yildiz and Dean Huijsen. Really beautiful. I watched it in the meanwhile 3 or 4 times. Why? Because I had the luxury to watch it a bit in anticipation to prepare myself. I will not spoil. Go and watch it, because at a certain moment you hear why Kenan Yildiz went immediately to the barber the day after Max said that he needed to cut his hair. And also the father of Dean is explaining why he has chosen Juve over Real Madrid. So beautiful moments there. Go and watch it, because you will enjoy it. On the other side, it's not the first one that we are putting online. We already did Dauda Peters, Gunnarsdottir, Dagraka, and many more. But the very first one that we did ourselves, Juventus Creator Lab, without the help of Amazon Prime or Netflix, was the one of Enzo Barrenechea and Mattia Soulé, that was called The Tale of Two Rising Juventus Stars. Well, we can say now, after a few months, after a few years, that if they were rising stars, well, they reached the stars. Mattia Soulé, 6 goals already in Serie A with Frosinone, 1 with Juve, already 7th. He's doing fantastically well. There are no secrets anymore for us that are following his games every single week. He's doing really well, and we are speaking about Mattia Soulé every single week. One that had to wait until yesterday to reach the front pages and that everyone was talking about him is Enzo Barrenechea, opening the score yesterday in Coppa Italia against Napoli at the 65th minute with a really beautiful header. I told you a few weeks ago, a few months ago, and I know that the most alert between you will say, it's true, Beppe, that I said, yes, Mattia Soulé, that is here in my heart, and I love the player, but also Enzo Barrenechea is doing extremely well. We are not speaking a lot about him because it's a midfielder, because he's not scoring, but Enzo is doing really well. And yesterday, Di Francesco confirmed that not a lot of players are him in terms of that regista, that is not taking a lot of risk, but he's always doing the right thing at the right moment. You remember that game against Torino, his first game in Serie A from the debut in the Derby della Mole? Well, Enzo is growing week after week after week, gaining experience, and I was really happy for the kid, because yesterday not only he scored 1 goal, but the entire team, they scored 4. Like Gazzetta dello Sport is writing, Napoli 4, tac, 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 tac. 4 slaps, 4 sberle, because they lost 4-0. It's already the second consecutive year, even last year with Spalletti, that they are out at the round of 16. Last year it was against the promoted team Cremonese. This year it's again the promoted team Frosinone. And I remember that in 2019, Aurelio De Laurentiis, he was asking himself in front of microphones, how is it possible in 2019 to see a team like Frosinone in Serie A? A team like that should not be in Serie A. Well, probably Frosinone and the boys and Di Francesco, they remembered that famous sentence that was actually shameful from the president of Napoli, and they took revenge, not only stopping after the 1-0 and securing the win, but continuing 4 slaps, 4-0 yesterday. And he also reminded me, of course, the celebration of Enzo Barrenechea brought me back to nostalgia. A lot of people were talking about it on social media, but seeing Enzo in a yellow shirt celebrating a la Higuain, another Argentinian that we had, well, it brought me a bit to nostalgia. What a striker in 17-18, Pipita Higuain. So the next opponent in Coppa Italia in the quarterfinal for Juve will not be Napoli, but probably will be Frosinone, of course, if on the 4th of January we are able to beat Salernitana. And don't run too much, because we know that in Coppa Italia, especially in this round of 16, everything can happen. It's always difficult. So the game of Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Italian time, is against Frosinone. And if we are happy to see Napoli out of that competition, so pay attention to ourselves, because Frosinone, you can tell us, hey, we have to go there, we are Juve, we are second, we have to beat them because they are a just promoted team, and it's probably correct, and you're all correct, but these were the same discussion we had against the game of Genoa, and at the end we did 1-1. Frosinone this year, they are the second best team of games played in their home. Why? Because they are now, after 8 games, at the total of only 1 game loss in their field. Exactly the same as Inter, Roma and Bologna. Milan, they lost twice in their home. Frosinone only once after 8 games. So we have to really pay attention. The only team at the moment that didn't lose in their home is Juventus with 0 loss. But anyway, we really have to pay attention. But seriously, Now, I just want to come back on Napoli. The open winning cycle of De Laurentiis is not there, because yesterday they lost. In Serie A, they are really far from the top from Inter. I have to say that a few weeks ago I was a bit mocked, and some angry Napoli fans that were pissed off with me because I said Napoli, I put it in the same category as the miracles of Leicester, of Lens, etc., etc. Of course, Napoli is a bigger team as Lens, as Leicester. But anyway, that victory after 33 years, I put it, and I'm really serious when I'm saying it was a miracle, because these kind of things doesn't happen too much. So this year, looks like Napoli will have some difficulties to win a trophy, another one, for 2 years consecutively. Let me take 1 second, 1 moment now, before speaking about Mercato and the famous dialogue Allegri, Massa, to say thank you, because you know it, Juventus Creator Lab is putting new content online. I am also putting new content online with a new channel that is called Football. Thank you for all the people that went there and supported me and helped me. We just overtook the 900, because we are at 904 people as we speak. So thank you for that. And the video is doing better and better. The one of yesterday, more than 450 views, which is great. It's the best of the last 10 ones. So thank you. It's not the numbers that I want to reach. I want to reach much more, but it's only thanks to you. And I want to thank personally, individually, Fyodor, Pavel, Calcioben, Bogdan, Lilgi, Steve Cano, Taha, Massimo Lesti, Aldo Bonaso, Dimansi, BT, and much more of you, because every single day you are opening the videos, you are watching it, and you are also putting a comment and a like. And thank you really sincerely for that, because you are just fantastic. And if you didn't yet and you just want to support me in that journey, go on the other channel. You will hear here or at the end of the video, you will have the link to do it. Help me, it would be really appreciated. But now we go towards the second topic of the video, that is Mercato, because this morning I was reading about 3 names: Zielinski, Kelly from Bournemouth, and Felipe Anderson from Lazio. 3 players that will be out of contract at the end of the year, where Juventus is thinking about them. Not sure that we will go for the 3 of them, not sure that we will go for 1 of them, but these names are a reality for the summer, and Giuntoli is thinking about them. I tell you immediately my opinion, I don't want any of these 3 players. I don't want these free contracts players that will not renew with their own club because they are not good enough or whatever. Or I don't want to go back with the Aaron Ramsey target signing, etc., etc. Then sometimes it can work. The first Paul Pogba that we took for free, fantastic. Even if Pogba was a young, unknown player that was coming from the youth academy, and here we are speaking about Zielinski that is 29. So it's a different story. Pay attention to these kind of things. Di Maria that I really wanted, so it's also my fault. He didn't perform that well last season. So pay attention to these free signings. I don't want these free signings. With all the respect for Zielinski, Kelly, Felipe Anderson, I don't want them. I prefer other names. I prefer creativity. I prefer to go to, if we don't have money, two new players. And that's why we are looking and you're reading these names, because I just mentioned it. We have at the moment no money to go for big signings. If you want Kefren Turam, if you want these kind of players, some people said Jonathan Davis, Sancho, you need money. You need money. And at the moment, the values of our big stars is decreasing, Dusan Vlahovic. And I'm not saying because of ourselves, because of the club, because of the coach, because of I don't care about that. The reality is at the moment, the value decreased from a lot of our players. We are not playing Europe. It's difficult to show themselves with only one attempt a week, because we are playing only once a week. So we have to pay attention to these kind of things. We have at the moment no money for the big players. And if you don't want to be linked with these players, Zielinski, etc., but you prefer going for a Samardzic, well, the money has to come from somewhere. And that's why the answer, or my response to the comment of Raven yesterday, sell Soulé, sell Ealing. What are we doing? Are we now also selling Kenan Yildiz? Are we also selling Huijsen? What are we doing? Well, first of all, Mercato rumors, media talk, paper talk. So it's not because the papers are saying it that Juventus has now the intention to sell all of our next-gen project or all of our youth players. That's not the intention of Juve. But if you want to raise your expectation on the market, if you want stronger midfielders that you have to pay, like Koopmeiners, 45 million euro, 48 million euro, that money has to come from somewhere. And if you can't have big deals with the players that should bring in a lot of money, you have to be creative and you have to think about every possible alternative and solution. And that's why when a club is interested in a youth academy project that can bring you only profit, because you took him for free, you let him grow alone in your own club, so it doesn't cost you zero, well, you're thinking about it. So one between Soulé, between Ealing, maybe between Yildiz, they could potentially leave for a lot of money. And with that money, you can go for players like Samardzic. Can he come in January, Samardzic? Probably not. Udinese is a real difficult moment. On the other side, the door is again slightly open. A few weeks ago, it was totally closed. In the winter, I'm speaking. Now it's again open. Why? Because Samardzic is not happy at all at the situation of Udinese this season. He wanted to leave. He already found an agreement with Inter. At the end, it didn't happen. Well, now he's not even playing anymore. Udinese coach put him on the bench for 90 minutes against Sassuolo in the last game. He's not happy and he wants to leave as soon as possible. Will Udinese sit at the table with Juve for Samardzic? Difficult, extremely difficult, but Juventus will try. One that Juventus will not try anymore in the winter is Berardi, because Carnevali, the sporting director of Sassuolo, he said, we don't sell Berardi in January. Forget about it. Sassuolo is an ambitious team, and we want, again, to go towards players that have the ambition to go to the national team of Italy or another country, whatever. So they have ambition, and they will not sell Berardi. Good for me, because I didn't want him. For a player, people that are watching the channel that wanted him, forget about him. Juventus will discuss with Rabiot. He is the priority to extend for next year or maybe next years, but not now. These are talks that will happen towards March, April, when we have a bit more clarity what European competition Juventus will play next year. One that will come back to Juve is Giorgio Chiellini. I'm not speaking about on the field, but at least in La Continassa, and I can't wait this afternoon to see the pictures of Giorgio Chiellini probably hugging Max Allegri, some ex-teammates, and why not? But probably these pictures will not be online. Speaking with the management for a future role in La Continassa with the Bianconeri. But these are things that we will monitor step by step. We have time probably until the next season. Now we go towards the final topic, and I told it in the intro. Yesterday, Max Allegri saw that he had been fined for 10,000 euro. Why? Because of protest in the tunnel towards the referee Massa after the game Genoa-Juve. 10,000 euro. The referee, he wrote it down. He sent it to the sport trial. And 10,000 euro. So we had a lot of talks, controversy. Some Juventini didn't understand because they saw a really calm Max Allegri in front of the microphone. And then you hear that there were Max Allegri that was absolutely not calm speaking to the referee. We didn't know what happened yesterday. So some Juventini, they said we are not happy because we would have loved that Max Allegri was angry also towards in front of the microphone. So the same way of communicating in front of the microphone and with the referee. and some people that said, no, Max should have been calm like he was in the front of the microphone and not speaking with the referee. The thing is that we didn't know what they were speaking about. Was Allegri complaining about the draw? Was he complaining about the penalty? Or what was actually the talks that were said in that tunnel? And if he was complaining about the draw, I would have said, Max, look at yourself. Look at the team. Look at the performance that we delivered. There is nothing to complain. If you want to complain about the penalty, it's a dubious situation that it's true, that we are never seeing in our favor. But I have to say that I have to back up Max Allegri. I have to back up him 1000%. Because what was he complaining about? Not the penalty. Not the draw. He was complaining about the foul from Malinowski on Kenan Yildiz. He was complaining about it. And he said to Massa, to the referee, he said, you know what? That foul from Malinowski could have costed the entire career of our young Kenan Yildiz. And it is disgusting that he didn't receive a red card. It is not acceptable. And I agree. Totally. These fouls are disgusting, especially the reaction of Malinowski that is going on the field and is shouting on that young kid on the ground that is suffering. No red card given by the ref. No check on the VAR. This is not acceptable. But you know what is even more not acceptable or even more disgusting, more a shame? The response of the referee. You know what he said? He said, Mister, there was 1 minute left. Nothing would have changed. What do you mean? What nothing would have changed? I'm not speaking about the game. I'm not speaking about the draw. I'm not speaking about the performance. I'm speaking about being correct and doing your job. Like you didn't do your job when there was a foul of Lautaro against Napoli before they scored 1-0. Like you didn't do your job in multiple occasions. Berardi on Gleison Bremer. But this one is even worse. Because your answer is not acceptable. When you're saying there is 1 minute left, speak about why you didn't give a red card. Speak about the reason why you thought it was not a red card, why you watched it and you saw it, why the VAR is not helping you. This is the answer I want. Or maybe saying, sorry, I made a mistake. Shaking hand, we split roads. But don't tell me it would not have changed anything. Because first of all, you never know. And secondly, it's not even the point. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about it. You see, that's why I didn't want to start speaking about that topic, because it makes me angry. Maximum of like if you didn't yet subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza. Juve.